Once upon a time, in the Arctic, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. Even though the sun is high in the sky, you are sleeping in a nice warm bed. You can see for miles, but you don't need to. Standing on the ice a few feet from your bed is a curious polar bear. You spring from your bed, rushing to put on a coat and shoes for an opportunity to see something you dream of. It's not a zoo, but the wilderness. The vast, wide open tundra where nothing is guaranteed. You are face to face with a polar bear with no glass between you. One day, you will learn that this is no ordinary polar bear. Our story begins as a wonderful trip to the Arctic, but turns into a most educational trip of a lifetime. In the distance, you saw this bear earlier, but now you begin a journey that few animal behaviors or scientists witness in their lifetime. Yes, they see polar bears up close. At times, they make contact with the animals to tend to an animal in need. We are a small band of travelers just hoping to see a polar bear up close in the wild. And this polar bear is closer than you imagined. Have you ever wondered why airplanes have numbers and ships have names? While many animals in the wild are named, polar bears in the wild are assigned numbers, not names. We don't know the number, and this seems so impersonal. So, we called this tiny, boisterous cub Junior. Junior is still considered a cub since he is under 3 years of age. Like any child, Junior is rambunctious. That is probably why he walked all the way to the ship. This is an everyday type of activity. At least, that is the perception. But sometimes, life surprises you. Junior was a most unusual case that is rarely seen. In fact, scientists seldom see this type of activity during their career because they are not in the polar bear's natural habitat. Sometimes tracking and/or data is not enough to see or understand the big picture. Our guide, Rini Van Muir, is a polar bear aficionado and an expedition leader who has authored a few books. He has led polar bear tours for more than 30 years. This trip increased his already abundant polar bear knowledge because not only did he see what was taking place, but he, like us, learned more after the trip ended. You see, Junior was no ordinary polar bear. He was a rather large polar bear for his age, and there was a female mating nearby. Intrigued, we sat patiently observing Junior for several days. We thought the female bear was his mother when we saw both of them lying on the ice, even though there was quite a bit of distance between them. It appeared that Junior's mom was trying to move on with the next phase of her life, which happens when her cubs are turning 3. We thought Junior was 2.5 years old because of his size and the nearby male wanting to mate with his mom. At 2.5, cubs, like children, rely on their moms, but their moms return to estrus at this time. They then focus more on themselves by eating as much as possible to care for the cubs to be born in January. No cub enjoys this stage. You have been with your mom all your young life, which, in this case, is 3 short years, and therefore, you definitely are not ready to part ways. The nearby male found Junior's stubbornness to remain bothersome, since it was interfering with his mating process. For us, this is where the story really begins to unfold and raise many questions. Junior is still considered a cub since he is 1.5 years old. Yes, 1.5 years old, not 2.5, a year younger than thought. This was not his mother. Junior was on his own in the middle of nowhere with sea ice that vanishes during the summer. More importantly, he was not being fed or taught like other bears his age who still are with their mothers for another year before venturing off on their own at 3 years of age. Survival is tough for all polar bears in the wild. Shrinking ice makes travel long and arduous. Food hunts are not always successful. If you are a mom caring for a 1.5-year-old cub, your work is doubled. We don't know what happened to his mother. Maybe she had 2 cubs and lost one, becoming depressed and eventually abandoning Junior. What we know is Junior is curious and learning how to survive on his own. We see him eating heartily. Was this young bear able to kill a seal or walrus on his own? The young are so easily entertained. Look at the joy he exhibits with a rope. While this is fascinating to see, it is also heart-wrenching because it is this pollution that is devastating to wildlife. Unfortunately, we can't stay here forever. Even if we could, it would not do much good. Polar bears are constantly in motion. We saw Junior travel far in just one canyon. Eventually, he left. We may have seen him in the distance, but we are not sure. Imagine seeing Junior swimming or enjoying life one day. While unlikely, we hope to hear that Junior survived and fathered a cub himself. We need to learn to coexist, flourish, and preserve our planet. Our sighting with Junior added to the world's knowledge of polar bears.